The fundamentals of corporate venturing program is only 2 days, but in the belief of the contributors and the participants, this really condenses 12 months of experience and learning in doing corporate venturing for real into the fundamentals, the principles, and the real stories of corporate venturing that's happening globally for leading corporates. The contributions we've had from Jonathan Tudor at Castrol BP Ventures and Tony Askew at REV Elsevier Ventures has really given the real life perspective of some long-standing large CV units. The faculty member inputs from Mark Muth at PwC and Neil Foster at Baker Botts has also given in-depth understanding of the corporate venturing and deal space.
The first thing is around aligning interests. Alignment is the key differentiator between a successful company and most unsuccessful companies. And as a corporate investor, you come in with oftentimes some suspicion from around the table as to where you really stand. And I think flushing that out with both your corporate structure, your structure of how you invest against terms, whether you have got special interest terms or not. I think all these are things which will really have a very big impact on the alignment around the table. So my preference is to have no special terms, and we are structured as a separate, entirely LP, GP structured VC.
What types of techniques do you do to get the strategic insights into your corporate, things like road trips and things like that?
Well, we run a whole set of process on that. Our first one is, as you mentioned, we do take groups of executives to go and meet with companies. Secondly, we spend a lot of time, roughly 30 or 40% of our time that most funds would spend fundraising with our corporate. And that would involve ad hoc meetings where our analysts or associates will spend time working on specific issues with some of the business units, up to thought pieces that we will share on a semi-regular basis, helping REV Elsevier kind of understand some of the transformations that are going on in and around its industry. So, for example, we did a big piece of work on how digital competencies were enabling new entrants into their market to really dislodge their market position. So we've done that over a number of years. The second thing we do, of course, is introduce all of our companies and make an impact through our company network into helping REV Elsevier understand how its markets are changing and the kinds of companies that it should be working with to help think through and thrive in that transformation.
I mean, it was clear you have the LP-GP structure or the process. Yeah. And one learning was probably also that you just mentioned that you have or the involvement of the corporate people, so to say, yes, in diligence. But are there any other learnings that you say big things that we could have done differently from the beginning?
That's a good question. Our structure has remained the same. Pretty much our approach has remained the same over the last 15 years. What's changed is maybe the form of the output. As I described, there's been an evolution of how we engaged with REV Elsevier over that period of time. In the beginning, it was very planned, formal and formulaic. We'd have the venture associates, we'd gather them together twice a year, we'd go and see the business unit leaders, we'd sit down and talk to them. Over a period of time, we no longer needed to do that because those formal relationships became much more valuable, informal relationships and a network. And networks play much better than formal relationships. We tried to intercede into the kind of formal cycles, the strategy cycles, the technology cycles of REV Elsevier. We did that for a few years, but again, those pretty much then bedded down into those informal relationships, which are one, much quicker, and two, much more responsive.